Just to make this, just to make this, just to make this.
Jeez, Lex, is that you?
Just to make this, just to make this, just to make this.
Jeez, Lex, is that you?
Just to make this, just to make this, just to make this, just to make this.
So this shit crazy.
What's going on, y'all? DS1 Ross, and we back here on SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love, man. I appreciate all the love and the support. Salute to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody who's coming through right now. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button on the way in. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Okay, we back. We back. Like I said, tuned in right now. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Do the shadow banning. You know, it takes, when y'all hit the like button, y'all are forcing YouTube to promote this video. So make sure y'all hit the like button. It's very much appreciated. After you hit the like button, hit the share button. Share the show. Let's share this video out. Share it on your community tabs, your Facebooks, Twitter, wherever you share videos, share this video. Those are your first two ways you support the show. Also, if you're new here, if this is your first time listening, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you're notified every time I go live, every time I drop some new content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell. Make sure your bell is rung. Make sure your bell is rung. After that, CashApp $Sheep Stay Sleep TV is where you can go to financially support the show. CashApp $Sheep Stay Sleep TV is where you can go to financially support the show. Or shout out to my man Great Britain. You could do like he did, started off the show right by hitting the super chat and leaving your comment. Shout out to him. And we're going to get into that, Great Britain. Shout out to Flatbush, Brooklyn. We're going to get into that, Great Britain. So make sure you follow that protocol. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the show. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time you go live. Also, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. After that, make sure you financially support the show by hitting the super chat where you can leave your message and your comments and I'll post them. Or CashApp $Sheep Stay Sleep TV is where you can go. Or all other donation links will be in the chat room. Just hit one of those links and go ahead and leave your donation. It's very much appreciated. Salute to everybody in the building. And yeah, man, shout out to Hannibal. Yeah, I might open up the panel. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Shout out to Ty Dan. Salute to you, Ty Dan. Shout out to my brother Tone Malone on the check-in. Shout out to Great Britain. Shout out to everybody. Salute to the masculine mercenaries, man. Salute to all my masculine mercenaries. One love to all the madam mercenaries. Tonight we're gonna have a little hip hop talk, man. But before we get into it, make sure y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna drop a video just giving my perspective on the whole versus battle with Gucci and Jeezy. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'll probably be dropping that video not too long after I finish this stream. So y'all stay tuned for that. But tonight, we're gonna talk about the woos and the chos of New York City. We're gonna talk about New York City drill rap. Now, as y'all know, I spoke about it a little bit in the Mo 3 King Von stream. Y'all could go check that out. Y'all can go and check that out. And tonight we're going to speak on how Chicago drill rap influenced the new, not only the new rap scene for the new generation, but how it's really affected New York. Because the same thing that is going on in Chicago with the rappers and things like that is the same thing going on in New York now. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like the new chapter of drill rap is New York. I think they done closed the books on Chicago. And it ended with the deaths of FBG Duck and King Von. Now, if y'all don't know, I'm going to give y'all a little Chicago drill rap history. when the world got introduced to Chicago drill rap, and I mean on a mainstream level, that was introduced to us by Chief Keef. Chief Keef, the Glory Boys. That was around 2012, 2013. With I don't like. Am I saying that people didn't know about drill rap before that? Of course we did. If you are a hip hop head, if you love underground hardcore rap, you knew about drill rappers before Chief Keef. But like I said, we speaking on mainstream. It came from that song, I Don't Like. So everyone fell in love with Chief Keef. Chief Keef, GBE, the Glory Boys, they are black disciples. They're black disciples. And the world grew to love Chief Keef and the BDs. This is why we use a lot of their lingo on an everyday basis. Okay? But at that time, if you do a little history, before I Don't Like came out, there was a young rapper in Chicago who also was on fire in the streets of Chicago, but he was a gangster disciple. His name is JoJo, Little JoJo. So you had the Glory Boys, who was BDs, and then you had JoJo World, who was GDs. Now, the groups that we know today that spawned out of these two famous rap crews, you get OTF out of the Glory Boys. They BDs too. That's where King Von comes into the picture. King Von is Little Durk's cousin. See, this is another thing a lot of y'all don't know, and why this whole war that's going on between these brothers is so deep, because a lot of these brothers got cousins who are ops, and a lot of them who are in the same organizations are family members. As I just said, Lil Durk and King Von is cousins. Now, y'all know they called King Von grandson, because he was the grandson of the father of David Barksdale. Y'all can go look that up. He spoke about that in the interview. That's why they call him that. So if y'all was questioning that, that is true, because he said that. Nobody made that up. It's not a rumor. King Von said it in an interview. He was questioned about it, and he spoke about it in the interview. So, but that's where you get OTF. OTF consisted of Lil Durk, and we naming the rappers: Lil Durk, Tay 600, 600 Breezy, E-Day, C-Day, Rondo number 9, And we gonna get into all they little backstories, because when we start getting into the woos and the chos, you're gonna start to see the same pattern going on. So those are some of your members. Oh yeah, I can't forget L.A. Capone. Now, in JoJo world, or on the GD side, you got STL. That's FBG. That's FBG Duck, Flyboy Gang. If y'all want to know what FBG stands for Flyboy Gang. So when you hear everybody running around here using the word clout chasing and clout, that came from FBG. See, they brought us clout. They brought us that. Because the nickname for FBG is Clout Boys. FBG, CBG, Clout Boys Gang. So, as you can see, you had Chief Keef and them, who was the Glory Boys. And then you had Duck and them, who was the Clout Boys. So they had glory, but FBG and them had street clout. See, y'all had glory because y'all was in the industry. And this has always been what certain people had beef with each other in the industry about. You always had, that is what the Jeezy and Gucci beef is a resemblance of. The industry versus the streets. So it was Glory Boys versus the Clout Boys. And then all of the other guys, you know, Gyro, and those other guys, they're all part of FBG because they all GDs. But most of the rappers, the known rappers, are STL members. FBG Duck, FBG Dutchy, FBG Young, FBG Cash, FBG Brick, Billionaire Black. A lot of y'all don't know. Famous Dex. You know, Famous Dex, the crazy weird rapper that everybody like now. Yeah, he's a GD. He came from Duckingham Camp. Rico Reckless come from Duckingham Camp. Lil Mister come from Duckingham Camp. See, you got to understand the Chicago part of this drill shit before we could get into the New York drill shit, because this is where these young boys adopted this shit because they grew up on it. Just like when we was growing up, me and my homies embraced the East Coast and West Coast beef. We inherited that shit because we grew up loving hip hop. So some of my homies who was Pac fans, like one of my best friends, he's a Pac fan. We grew up arguing with each other over who was better out of Pac and Big. This was a norm for us. So we inherited that beef because you had dudes that grew up in New York who loved West Coast music, who loved Snoop, who loved Pac, who loved Dre. And they didn't care if they was from Brooklyn. They loved Pac. You couldn't tell them shit about Pac. That was my man. I couldn't tell him nothing about Tupac. He didn't care. The first way I used to always try to beat him in an argument was I used to be like, yo, how you don't like Biggie and you from Brooklyn? And he used to say, I don't care. So when a lot of y'all older people look down on the youth for what they doing and what they listening to, we all was affected by that shit. Just like y'all was, just like the older heads were. Y'all had y'all favorite shit that y'all listened to. Y'all had y'all shit that y'all didn't listen to. But we inherited the hip hop beefs in our time. We inherited the Cash Money versus No Limit beef. Because my cousins that lived down south, they loved Master P. They wasn't rocking with Cash Money. When they started beefing, they chose a side. They picked No Limit. But before that, was we listening to 400 Degrees? Hell yeah, we was listening to Juvie. Hell yeah, we was listening to Turk album. But when they started beefing, they picked No Limit. Master P all day. This is real shit. This is real shit. To the point where if we go into a party and some music come on and we get hype and they talking some Cash Money shit, somebody might get punched in the mouth. This was real shit for us. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the chat room. If y'all was at a certain age and y'all was doing certain shit, y'all was able to be outside and move around and do certain things. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody might get punched in their shit. Straight up. That's how it was. It wasn't that we was trying to be violent. We was influenced by the music. This is what it was. We was influenced by the music. So what's wrong with these young boys being influenced by their music? Huh? What's wrong with them being influenced by their music? You think people was getting murdered back in the 90s too for some rap beef. It's the same shit. Is it magnified now? Of course. But this is nothing new. Shout out to Ty City. He said just came through to say Gucci ain't got it for Cheesy. Peace. Salute. Appreciate the donation, man. So what I want to do is I want to bring some understanding to the table. I want the older generation to understand that y'all not no different from us, and we not too much different from y'all. Y'all just grew up in a different era, so shit looks different. Y'all was influenced by y'all music, but y'all influence from the music made y'all do different shit. And over time, as society devolved, people devolve, so we become more violent because the music devolved. I'm not gonna sit here and say the music is some uplifting stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and say that. But the music represents what the people is going through. In y'all time, y'all was free basing and eating mushrooms and doing all that shit and kumbaya. That was y'all time. Just like if you grew up in the 90s, 9 times out of 10, if you wasn't a crack baby, your parents used. Your parents probably was a functional addict. You grew up in that environment. Your friends was crack babies. So the music represented that. And we gravitated to that music. It's the same shit now with these young boys. With the woos and the chos. Because this stuff represents their way of coming together and getting out of poverty and struggle. That's what this shit represents. That's what it always has represented. Now, what comes from it may not always be good. But why you think we gravitated to Biggie? I gravitated to Biggie because one, he was a big dude. I'm a big dude. Two, he spoke about shit that I saw every day. Shit that my family did. He was a spokesperson for what I was going through. He basically echoed everything I saw and felt. So what you think Chief Keef did for these young boys back in 2012, 2013, who was outside on that wild shit, who was in their homeboy apartment, in their homeboy mom's apartment or grandmom's apartment. It's 20 of them in the living room, no shirt on, everybody smoking and drinking and popping pills. And they just thinking it's some creative shit. Like, yo, man, let's just film us rapping or some crazy shit. Y'all know what we do in the hood. That's all Chief Keef and them did. And that shit went viral. And then these other young boys across the world said, oh shit, they doing what we doing. Yo, we be doing this shit all the time, y'all. We ain't never think to record ourselves. Now, mind you, they already got the name of they crews. See, now let's talk about the wolves. The wolves will be the representation of the BDs in Chicago. They was the Chief Keef heads. They were the Chief Keef heads. That's why if you watch a lot of their videos are similar to the old school GBE OTF videos. Some of your woo rappers that we know is Fabio Foreign. Big Drip. Now, Fabio Foreign is a Crip. Fabio Foreign is a Crip. But in New York, the Crips beef with the folks, the GDs. Why? I'm not getting into that. Because me getting into all that is cop shit. So we gonna keep it on music. So if you listen to Fabio Foreign, you're gonna hear him screaming those 3 letters, referring to the folks, the GDs. He's woo. So you got, but you also in New York to see, because the shit is tricky. Just like it's tricky with the music shit and the gangs in Chicago. Because you got some guys who are not against those guys, but then you got some guys who are against them. You got some guys who are cool, maybe with one guy from the ops, but then the rest of his homies is ops. Perfect example. The dude 051 Melly. Now 051 Melly is a op to a lot of GDs, but a lot of GDs respected 051 Melly. So in New York, you have Crips who are woo, who don't like GDs, but then you got Crips in New York who don't beef with GDs. See? You actually got GDs and Crips who hang out together, who are cool with each other, who got respect for each other. So it's the same dynamic. Y'all just got to follow me. But it's the same dynamic. See? And the woos are not black disciples. The woos are bloods. They not black disciples. But like I said, they represent that side because they fashioned their whole shit off of Chief Keef, them young boys. They fashioned their shit after them. See? Now, if you want to see this directly, go look at woo rappers like Famo Banga, JD. If you look at these guys' videos, they'll remind you of them old Chief Keef videos, where him and his homies is in an apartment in the projects. They all got their shirt off. They're paying homage to their influence. Shit, some of them got OTF tatted on them. See? So go look at JD. Go look at Famo Banga. And the videos that pop up under them. Y'all go check out the woo music. They got good music. I listen to it all. I don't get into the whole politics and stuff because for one, that ain't my business. I'm way older than them. I stay in my place. That's what they do. I just enjoy the music. It's the same thing with the GDs and the BDs in Chicago. I listen to Tay 600. I like his music. I listen to Billionaire Black. I listen to FBG Duck. I like their music. But y'all have to understand, and this is why I've used a personal reference, because you got to understand that this shit is a whole lifestyle. The music come along with what's going on in the streets, because I just told y'all how music affected me and my friends. You know, if you from Brooklyn, you know, at a certain point back in the 2000s, if some MOP come on in the club and the right people is in the club and they drunk or something, somebody might get stomped out. That is what MOP does to crazy Brooklyn niggas. You might get stomped out. Especially if you at a party in Brownsville, where they're from. You might get stomped out, or the party might get aired out. That's what, because MOP spoke to dudes who are from Brownsville and lived in Brownsville. They spoke to their lifestyle at that time. So it's the same thing now with the Woos and the Chos. The Chos, that's the folks, the GDs. Now, folks have always been in Brooklyn. Little do people know. Folks was around when I was in high school. You had Bloods, Crips, and Folks. The folks are more, you got a little portion of your folks, and most of your folks, I'm gonna say, start in Flatbush. Shout out to Great Britain. He was talking about Flatbush earlier. That's why I said I was gonna get into Flatbush. That's where a lot of your Chos are. A lot of your Chos is in Flatbush. They start right after you get from Crown Heights. Soon as you pass Eastern Parkway and you start getting down by the museum and all of that, that's where the folks start at. Ebbetsville. Ebbetsville. You know what Ebbetsville is famous for? The Brooklyn Dodgers. Ebbetsville. That's the home of the folks in Brooklyn. Now, Ebbetsville is considered, on one side, Ebbetsville is considered Crown Heights, but on the other side is considered Flatbush. But we usually consider it Flatbush. This is where your Chos start, the folks. Now, a lot of these guys, right? A lot of these guys, they were always around. Just like FBG ducking them in Chicago. See, they was always, far as rapping, they was always on the low doing their thing. See, they have their form of a little JoJo, but except he didn't die. That's 22Gs. Y'all can go and look them up, 22Gs. I'm gonna get back to the other side because there's still a lot of associations. You always have to pay attention to the associations with the music. It's the same. It's the same thing in Chicago where you had rappers associated with other people and shit got mixed up that way. This is how a lot of other beefs with other dudes, you know, came to be. It's the same thing in New York. But the Cho rappers is you got 22Gs, you got Nick Blicky. Nick Blicky just got killed. Rest in peace to Nick Blicky. He just got killed. You got Coach the Ghost, MV Kane. You got SPMB Bills, Den's Flocks, Kush Blicky, K Blicky. They deep. The Cho rappers are deep. And they all can rap. That's what's so interesting about this whole thing. And this is why I say I never really get into the gang politics because all of these dudes can rap. They can rap. And what none of these guys understand is the industry is gonna use that shit against y'all. They're gonna fuel y'all beef. They're gonna make y'all turn up on each other to sell records. This is what the young boys in Chicago, they realize now. This is what they realize. They realize that the industry bamboozled them. Why you think a lot of Duck boys, they didn't get on, a lot of them didn't want to get on there and, you know, really diss King Von? It's because they understand now that the media and the industry is using that shit to, and at the end of the day, everyone's losing. This is why I say the drill scene in Chicago is dead. They wrapped it up with the two biggest losses from both sides. See, because you got to understand what Little Dirk and Chief Keef is in the industry. Guys like Little JoJo and Tuka and FBG Brick and FBG Duck, these guys were street celebrities. This is why they were called the Clout Boys. They had clout in the streets. When Dirk and them had industry clout. And if you look at it now, in New York, it's similar. Fabio Foreign got a major deal. As you can see, before King Von passed away, he did a song with King Von. And in the video, He was what? What they call dropping rakes. He was what they call dropping rakes. That's what Fabio Foreign was doing. So in that video is proof of what I've been saying this live stream on how the Wu's allegiance is to the BDs. They're not black disciples, but their allegiance is with the BDs because they do what? They drop rakes. I'm not going to say what that means, but that's what that is. So y'all see the connection. Pop Smoke was a very big loss for the Wolves. Very big loss. He was a big loss for the Wolves. Big loss. He was a big loss for the Wolves. He was a big loss for the Wolves, like Fredo was a big loss for the Glory Boys. Except Fredo wasn't killed. But the impact was huge. The loss. But let's go back to the Cho's. The Cho's have street clout. They have clout. They are known, very known, where they from. And they have a big street fan base also. Just like FBG and them guys from Chicago had. So like I said, let's name their rappers. Let's name some more of their rappers. Like I said, you got Envy Kane, and y'all can go and check them out. You got Coach the Ghost, SP and B Bills, Dens Flocks, Nick Blicky, 22 G's. If you just type in Blicky Gang, just type in Blicky Gang, the music is gonna come up. Blicky Gang is the representation of JoJo World. That is FBG ducking them when they was young. The Blickies. Watch their videos. Watch their videos. And then go and watch old FBG videos. You'll see the resemblance. Listen to the lingo. It is because this is what they grew up on. This is what they gravitated to. Not to mention that they grew up and became folks. They became GDs. Because that is what the GDs control, that section in Flatbush, Ebbetsville. So if you went to school around there, if you lived around there, you was going to turn folk. Or your friends was folks. See? So instead of knocking what's going on, understand what's going on. Understand what this thing is about. Understand that these young dudes is losing family members. They losing best friends. The same way it was going down in Chicago, man. See, I want dudes to understand. I wish them young brothers could understand that they part of something that's bigger than them. And it's set up to exterminate them. And I don't want them to find out when it's too late, like the FBG Ducks, like the King Vons. Because that's what all of it, that's the industry is put fuel onto the fire. The media, the Instagrams, they put fuel to the fire, man. And they're doing it. The industry is fueling it right now with the Woos and the Chos. Gucci Man just signed one of the Cho rappers. He just signed Coach the Ghost. Fabio Foreign, well, that's before Fabio Foreign, Pop Smoke got signed. Then Fabio Foreign got signed. See? So just like how it was in Chicago, where you had a lot of the BD rappers in the game first. And what Duck and them used to say, a lot of their complaints was that Lil Durk and them was blocking them from getting in the industry. They would use their influence, and they wouldn't be able to do certain shows. Certain labels just wouldn't deal with them. And they knew what it was coming from. And I'm not gonna say that was 100% true, because I don't know, but I wouldn't say it's 100% lie, because if those your ops, that's another way to play against your ops. That's another form of warfare. Oh, you want to eat around here? I'll cut your food supply, nigga. I'll make sure you can't get in the door. And being that it's still a war on the streets, and if I block them from getting in the industry, they'll just get killed out in the streets. They'll never get a deal. So if that was going on, that is a tactic that who wouldn't use against their ops. But you have more woo rappers in the industry getting signed, getting big features, more than your Cho rappers. The first Cho rapper that got signed was 22G's. He got signed to Sniper Gang. Got signed to Kodak Black. Got signed to Kodak Black. But it just always seems that the folks never have good luck in the industry. It just always seems that way. They never have any good luck. Soon as 22G's signed with Kodak Black gets into a beef with NBA Youngboy, and he catches that wild, he get caught with them guns and go to jail. So that put his career on hold. So now you got Coach the Ghost, who signed the Gucci Man. but he's not making that much noise. He dropped one single, it blew up, he got signed, but now you don't really hear too much from him. But you hear Fabio Foreign all through New York City, all through the 5 boroughs. Fabio Foreign's on the radio. The Woos is on the radio. They call it Woo York. They everywhere. They influence. This is why in the last show I was talking about how you got people who not even, down with this stuff, but they saying, oh, I'm not from 63rd. Because that is something that King Von used to say. And what did I tell y'all? The Woos is in allegiance with the BDs. So this is why you got people in New York screaming this stuff. Because they woo. Because 63rd is St. Lawrence. That's STL. That's FBG. That's GD land. King Von is from 64th. O Block. 064. O Block. Now in the Woo, you got the O's. They put emphasis on the O. King Von is from the O. Are y'all following me? This ain't no secret, top secret stuff. It's in your face if you pay attention. They from the O. The Woos puts emphasis on the O's. WOO. The O. O64. O Block. OTF. Only the family. Now, I mentioned the Woo rapper JD. The name of his crew is OMB, which is a spinoff of OTF and GBE. OMB. Y'all see? Y'all see the connection? OMB. Only my brothers. OTF. Only the family. GBE. Glory Boys. OMB. There's that O again and that B. Pay attention. So we're getting ready to watch what we've been watching for the past almost 10 years, and how we watched a whole generation of young black men be murdered off at the hands of the rap industry. Using their pain, struggle, traumas, and wanting to get away from that shit against them to put them in the industry and put them around each other so they could eradicate one another. And then y'all just come and collect insurance money and put everybody else in jail. And this is what I wish these young brothers could understand, because this is really what's going on. They're getting ready to do it in New York. They're finished with Chicago. They finished with Chicago. You got deaths on both sides. Let's go through them. On the BD side, you got Fredo. You got LA Capone. You got OD. You got Baldy. You got White. You got a lot of these dudes. A lot of these dudes. You got Blood Money. If I'm not mistaken, Blood Money Boss was Chief Keef's big cousin. He was killed. You got Newski. Newski is Lil Durk cousin. Murdered. Got a lot of these guys that were killed. LA Capone. That was Tate 600 best friend. King Von. And a lot of the other names that, if you go and listen to FBG Duck song, Dead, if you just go and look that up, Dead with the B word, and he naming all of them dudes. It's a lot of them. And a lot of them dudes were rappers, up and coming rappers, or the entourage of the rappers. Same thing go on the GD side. You got FBG Duck, killed. You got FBG Brick. FBG Brick was FBG Duck's older brother. You got KI. That was a girl. She was killed. You got JoJo. You got Tuka. It's the same thing going on in New York right now. Pop Smoke. Nick Blicky. Another one of the little Cho rappers just got killed too. Rich Flocks. It's going down. One of the little woo rappers, one of they homies just got killed. Males. It's repeating itself, y'all. Until they get to the top. See, they already got one of the main ones. They already got one of the main ones, Pop Smoke. So there's always going to be a woo rapper in the industry because of Pop Smoke's death. It's going to always be a woo rapper in the industry. And right now, the top woo rapper is Fabio Farm. It's Fabio. got Fabio Foreign. Like I said, you got JD. You got Famo Banger. These are your top woo rappers. You got DOD. But over the summer, as y'all can see, New York was going crazy. Violence every day. But if you notice, the violence was heavy in certain sections. You have violence going on all over the city, but in certain sections, it was very, very prevalent. That is the Woo and the Cho areas. Those hot spots are Woo and Cho areas. This is a repeat of what we saw just go on in Chicago with Chicago drill. It's a repeat, man. And it's sad that there's nobody in the industry that's really trying to tell these young dudes, yo, just get your money. You don't have to promote that other shit because all you're going to do is mess up your money. You're going to put yourself back in a predicament that you don't want yourself to be in. But everybody in the industry is allowing these young men to cannibalize each other and to just walk away with the bag. That's the sad part. Fabio Foreign was just in a video with King Von in O Block dropping rakes. Fabio Foreign don't even understand that the GDs is worldwide. They saw you doing what you was doing. So you think you're going to be going to states and doing shows and nothing's going to happen? Nothing's going to start happening to these dudes' entourages at shows, playing around with these GDs? A perfect example of that is if y'all know Sauce Walker from the Sauce Twins, he's from Houston. The name of his rap crew is TSF. Now, a dude that he signed to TSF name is Sada Baby. Sada Baby is a blood. He's from Detroit, but he's a blood. And like I said, the bloods or some blood sets have an allegiance with the BDs. So Sada Baby, he cool with Dirk. He's cool with OTF. So Sada Baby did a song, if I'm not mistaken, with King Von, or if it wasn't in the song with King Von, he was just mentioning how he was smoking on Tuka. Now, Sada Baby signed to TSF, and so is other artists. So you guilty by association. So they caught one of Sauce Walker's rappers and they robbed him. It's all on the internet. They doing interviews, rocking his chains and all that. Billionaire Black, FBG. They doing songs with Dirk, doing songs with King Von, and they dissing they dead homies. This is what Billionaire Black said in the interview. So when we catch y'all, we gonna take y'all shit. We gonna take whatever y'all got. Since y'all want to be up under these niggas and these niggas songs and they dissing our dead homies. So we gonna rob you rap niggas. So they robbed one of Sauce Walker's artists. And if they bump into Sada Baby, it's gonna be a problem. This is why the GDs pressed up on T Grizzly. Because of some shit T Grizzly said. Because T Grizzly is a blood. And his allegiance, he's cool with Dirk and Chief Keef. So what do you think is going to happen when Fabio start doing shows in these states that he think GDs are not there? We're watching a repeat, y'all. We're watching a repeat. Another Wu rapper that was killed. His name was what was son name, man? Let me look him up real quick. Give me a second, y'all. But I want to give y'all the name to this dude. It's not Paparazzi Pop. It was his homie. It's Paparazzi Pop, homie. KJ Baller. KJ Baller. Rest in peace to KJ Baller. He was another Wu rapper that was gunned down this summer. Early. Gunned him down. It wasn't in the summer. It was right. It was right after Pop Smoke got killed. KJ Baller. He was sitting in his car. Dudes just rolled up on his car and aired him out. Same things is going down, y'all. This shit is for real. Believe when these young boys say that this shit is not a game, it's not. It's really not. It's really not, man. These young boys is losing their life. It's not nothing to play with, man. And I need y'all to understand that if you really aware of what's really going on, if you really aware of this spiritual war, pay attention to what's going on with this in the music. Because what's going on out in the streets is being perpetuated through the music. These young boys is putting it out there. And instead of y'all just looking down on them, understand what they going through. And if you ain't got no words of advice or no way for them young boys to eat, just pray for them and keep it pushing, man. Because this spiritual war that they dealing with is deep. You know, every generation got they shit that they gotta get over and shit that they gotta deal with. This is the shit that they have to deal with. Because they're using the music industry to get out of poverty. See, our generation, most of us didn't look toward rap to get out the hood. We didn't look for that. A lot of us may have dibbled and dabbled with rap. Some of us may have tried to take it even further, but if that shit didn't really work out, a lot of us went another way. You know, we didn't sit here and say it's either rap or nothing else. See, that's what these young boys is doing. It's either rap or nothing else for them. And this is why they took the losses that they took on both sides. This is why the Wolves gonna take the losses and taking losses that they took already, and the Choos. And it's gonna be more casualties to this war. Shout out to Hannibal. He said, I like your perspective on this, bro. Respect from the Chicago. Salute. Because this is what they've decided to do to get out the hood. Because they don't believe in the college shit. Because they saw some of their homies go to college and end up back on the block. So they're not taking the school route. They know they're not going to work for no fucking body. So they taking the music route. And the demonic entities that's behind the music industry, they know what they got to do. And they have a whole package that they get these young men to follow to get what they want. If you notice, Fabio Foreign stood next to two superstars that passed away. Fabio Foreign blew up right after Pop Smoke got killed. That was Pop Smoke, homie. Right before King Von died, he did the video with King Von. Y'all gotta pay attention to this stuff, man. Before FBG Duck died, it was rumors that him and King Von used to talk. How true that is, we don't know. At one point, Duck did a song saluting all the Chicago legends of his time. And he shouted out the BDs. He shouted out Fredo. He shouted out L.A. Capone. Dudes that was his ops. He didn't want this shit to keep going on. The GDs, they never wanted to even rap beef with Keith and them. Keith and them used that shit to get on. If you go and you listen to their interviews, if you listen to Billionaire Black, if you listen to FBG, any of the FBG members, they tell you them dudes was dissing our homies in their songs. They had songs that was played worldwide that dissed our homies. This is why we start dissing they homies. This is what happened. This is what happened. If little JoJo was never killed, there would be no Chief Keef. There'll be no Chief Keef. You see? But once JoJo got killed and they signed Chief Keef, they kept promoting these diss tracks. If you notice, the songs that get the most views from both sides are the worst songs where they're saying the foulest shit about what they've done to each other. It is the same shit today with the Woos and the Chos. On both sides, the top songs and videos with the highest views are the most disrespectful ones. Why is this? Why is these songs promoted the most? The exposing me's of the world. Exposing me. Nobody really care about Dirk music anymore. Nobody listen to Dirk. You know why? Because Dirk don't diss the ops. That's why he signed King Von. So he could make money off OTF. Because he wasn't making no money off none of them dudes off OTF. That's why he signed King Von. And taught King Von how to rap. Because he knew Von was going to put all that shit in his music. Op music. That's what make money. That's why them dudes got signed. Duck finally got signed to Sony Red. When Duck tried to do music that wasn't op music, it wasn't received as well. It's the same thing with the Woos and the Chos. If you go and listen to 22 G's album, it's a decent album. But that is if you're listening with an open ear. If you going and listening to 22 G's because you want to hear what he gonna say about Chef G, if you want to hear what he gonna say about Fabio or JD, then you're gonna dismiss the artistry. And this is what the industry is promoting. They want the fans, the listeners, to dismiss the art. Listen for op music. Listen for op bars. Who is he talking about? Not what he's saying, but who is he talking about? That's all that should matter when you listen to Woo and Cho music. Just like when you listen to the FBGs of the world, or when you listen to the GBEs of the world, or the OTFs. They don't want you to listen to these guys' story. They want you to listen to, oh, who he said he killed? How many bodies he said he caught? How many ops he want to drill? And we have to understand that the industry have trained the listener to listen for this. So if the artist is not saying this shit, they don't want to hear it. They're not going to spin it. It's not going to get any views. You have to be dissing some ops. You have to have ops. Period. This is a spiritual war. You must have an adversary. The industry will not promote you. Fabio will not be getting promoted if he was not GDK. If he was not dropping rakes and doing it on a major platform. See, 22G's had his little time where he had Brooklyn in an uproar on the Cho side, on the GD side, because he got signed to Kodak Black. So he was able to throw the rakes up on a big platform. So now you could do this op shit on a bigger platform, on a bigger stage, where you could get these other young boys on this Cho shit. So you could have a goddamn Cho in West Bubblefuck somewhere. This is what the industry promotes. This is a spiritual war, y'all. I keep telling y'all this. You don't make money if you don't have an op. You don't make no money. We don't care what you got to say. How many ops do you have? King Von had to have ops because he made op music. So he had to show his listeners that he really was a savage and a demon. So he had to have ops in real time. So he had beef with NBA, Quando Rondo. He needed an op in real time. 22G's, he has an op in real time. Chef G. Chef G is a Crip. The Crips, like I said, some of the Crips, allegiance is to the Woos. And some Crips, allegiance is not to the Woos because what? Other Crip sets in New York are not opposed to folks. They're not GDK. You need an adversary. Or nobody wants to listen to that shit. It's harder for your music to push through when you don't have any ops. See? The only way you can promote your music and not have any ops is you have to go a whole nother route. You know who made that transition? And he was FBG, Famous Dex. Famous Dex he's a star. But look at what Famous Dex had to transform into to totally get out of the op lane. He had to go be a weirdo. He had to go the weirdo route. He went the Young Thug, Little B route. He had to go that route to totally be disassociated with op music. He had to color his hair. He had to pop 10 perks and slur on records. That's what he had to do. to get away from that. Look at Rico Reckless' career. Rico Reckless' career is on the decline because he's not beefing with nobody. So what is he gonna rap about? Because see, how the industry have trained the listeners is now with the heavy influence of YouTube, the heavy influence of Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. When you listen to a Rico Reckless and he rapping about all these ops that he got, what these young listeners are gonna do, they're gonna go to his Instagram and they're gonna go and find and read through his post to see if he really has ops. They're gonna look for your ops. And if they find that you have them, they're going to troll your ops so y'all can start beefing and so they can watch this shit. This is some deep shit that y'all playing with. This is what the industry have done. Oh shit, he beefing with such and such. Let me go troll Quando Rondo so him and King Von could really fight. This is what the listeners do. See, the industry didn't train my generation to do this shit. We might go to the concert and beat somebody up. Somebody might get robbed or something. We might get into a brawl. But these kids actually have the access to go and to actually put fuel on the fire with these beefs. Just so they can see it, so they can watch it. This is a new form of instigating. And then when somebody die, they talk about, oh, why did this happen? When the industry set the stage and they allowed the listener to have too much access to these fans, man. We didn't have this much access to our favorite artists. We couldn't fucking directly send our favorite artist a direct message. Do y'all understand the power of that shit? Excuse me. Do y'all understand the power of that? You can, if your favorite artist is Little Durk, you can go on Instagram and send him a DM. So what if he don't answer? When I was growing up, I didn't have no access to Biggie. The closest access I have to him, if I saw him, was to scream his name out and for him to look my goddamn way. Or write him a letter through fan mail. Some shit like that. These kids can talk to them. These kids can go on their pages and say shit. And being that these kids who are signed to these labels and who are stuck in these deals and who have obligations to their contracts because they're workers just like a job. They have to meet certain quotas and shit like that. They're forced to do certain shit. So if they see certain shit working, why not keep doing it? It's the same shit with the YouTubers. You wonder why We can't stop talking about women around here because it works. It makes money. This is why. This is why these guys always find a reason to just keep, rehashing the same shit because it's making them money. And I've always said this. It's the same thing with this hip hop industry. Op music is what sells. The men must make op shit. Op music. And I'm just sitting back, man, and just, waiting to just see how this, shit is gonna develop, man, as far as this whole Woo and Cho thing in New York, man. Because I think it's gonna be another repeat of Chicago. Right after Pop Smoke died, KJ Baller died, Nick Blicky died. They were killed, all of them. Fabio Foreign was shot at. Same thing. Pay attention. Just pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. Go and check out those names I named. If you're just tuning in, and you might have to listen to the playback. Go and check out those names. Go listen to their music. Go and listen to the guys who are associated with the music. It's the same thing. Same format we saw in Chicago when we first got introduced to drill rap. Yeah, man, it's going down every day, man. It's going down every day. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV is where you can go to support the show. Support the show. I appreciate all the support so far. Shout out to Fasting for hitting the Cash App. I appreciate you, bro. He said, I finally caught you up on your live, man. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to MLR. He say supporting the channel as always. Salute to you, bro. Shout out to them brothers, man, for supporting the channel. Shout out to everybody for hitting the Cash App. Everybody who hit the super chat also, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Soul Shade in the building. Seth Lowe in the building. Shout out to James in the building. Todd TV, salute. Patrick Jones, salute. Yeah, he went the Lil Uzi Vert route on Famous Dex. Yep. Sure did. Shout out to Hannibal. Lord Reese, salute. Shout out to the Underrated Darkness in the building. Salute. D Remedy, salute. What's going on, Georgie Porgy? Salute. You said what's on BK? On BK is Only My Brother's K. That's you talking about PNVJ. PNVJ is a Cho. So he's Owen BK. Owen BK, like I said, means only my brothers. That's part of the Wolves. That's JD. He's part of the Wolves. So when you hear Owen B, they the Wolves. So if you hear somebody scream at Owen BK, they Cho. Oh, it's called Parkway Gardens. Hannibal. I didn't know that. Shout out to Mr. Greasy. That's a fact, Hannibal. That's a fact. The GDs from, yeah, STL, none of them had beef with Fredo. They all had love for Fredo. All of them. They all had love for Fredo. Nah, it's not really another umbrella. It's just that it's like it's like a it's like a culmination of everybody. Wu is nothing but, from what mainstream, I'm gonna speak on mainstream, it's a rap, it's a big rap thing. So if you in a certain like Woos have Bloods and Crips in the Woos. So you got Wu members who are Bloods and Wu members who are Crips. That's all it is. It's not really an umbrella, and they all rap together. It's just that the Chos, in the Chos, you got Bloods who rock with Chos. You got certain blood sets who are cool with Chos, but most of your Chos, well, all of your Chos are folks. They GDs. But you got some Crips that rock with Chos, and you got some Bloods that rock with Chos. Just like you got Bloods who are Wu, and you got Crips who are Wu. Facts, mash out posse. Shout out to Sheed in the building. Shout out to Hills Inn. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, family. Yeah, PNVJ. PNVJ, he was beefing with JD. And they whole beef is not even the fact that they Wu and Cho. They whole beef is over a girl. Them two young dudes. They was beefing over the same chick. The same chick was messing with a Wu and a Cho. She was messing with PNVJ first, and then she started messing with JD, who's a Wu. And then she ended up having a baby by JD. But the whole time she was still will go and play with PNVJ too. You know, like chicks do, like chicks like to do. They play with both sides. So that's what they beef was about. And they would just make songs about each other. And one of PNVJ's biggest songs that got him a deal, because PNVJ, I forgot about PNVJ. I'm glad you brought that up. Shout out to Patrick Jones. Appreciate that, bro. He's another one that got signed. He got signed. He was, matter of fact, he was the first Cho member to get signed. He was the first GD to get a deal. He got signed at 14, PNVJ. And then 22G's got signed to Sniper Gang. PNVJ got signed first. Yeah, they beefing over a girl. Him and JD. But they squashed their beef though. They squashed their beef, and they decided to keep it rap. But they both gonna keep op rapping. They're gonna keep dissing each other, but they're gonna keep it on wax. Because they know that they both are gonna get views off of it. So go and check out OMB, OMBK, and OMBK Part 2. And go listen to JD, PNVK. But yeah, they whole little beef was over a chick. That's crazy. But yeah, P and V is they folks too. They GDs. It's so many different factions of the Chos, just like it is in Chicago with the rap shit. How it's FBG, you got STL, you got Gyro, you got Wooga World, it's a lot of them. It's the same thing in New York. You got P and V. It's a lot of you got P and V, you got SP and B, you got Situation Gang, you got Blicky Gang. It's a lot of them, and they all rap. It's just rappers, just different rap crews. You got Stain Gang. Um, it's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. But overall, man, I just want everybody to understand the magnitude, and I want y'all to understand the magnitude of this spiritual war that's behind this thing that they got going on in hip hop with our young brothers today. You know, when you listening to this music, man, just be open-minded and keep it on the art. Don't get caught up in the personal shit that these brothers got going on, because you don't really want to be out here perpetuating that shit, because these dudes are dying out here. It's not a game. They dying for it and they killing about it too. You know, let's keep it on the music tip, man, because as you can see, look what just happened to Chicago. Drill rap destroyed a whole generation, man. Chicago is left in peril. From a whole generation of young black men just trying to get out the hood and get their families out. And now their families is stuck. I just hope, man, we don't sit back and just watch this happen to a whole generation in a whole nother city. You know, so shout out to the Wolves, shout out to the Chos, man. You know, shout out to everybody that tuned in. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody who donated. Much love. Appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. I will be back tomorrow, Saturday night live, like we do. Saturday night comedy hour, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Open conversation. As always, it will be an open panel. So y'all stay tuned for that tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. But before I wrap this show up, make sure y'all go follow me on the Stereo app. Go to your app stores, download the Stereo app, follow me there at Real is Rare Pod. That's at Real is Rare Pod on the Stereo app. Make sure y'all follow me over there. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. I'm your host, DS1 Ross of Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, brothers, it's a spiritual war out here, man. Spiritual war. We got to arm ourselves with the truth. Got to arm ourselves with the truth, man. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries. One love to all the matter mercenaries, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.